am I the asshole for humiliating my ex's new girlfriend in front of our friend group? About 8 months ago, my boyfriend and I broke up. It was mutual, honestly, pretty mature, and there wasn't some huge cheating scandal or explosive betrayal behind it. We just realized we weren't working anymore and decided to end things before we started hating each other. The important part is that we stayed on decent terms because we share the same friend group. After the breakup, though, I went through a rough patch mentally. I felt insecure, emotionally drained, and honestly kind of lost. But eventually I decided I didn't want to stay stuck there forever. So I started focusing on myself. I started eating better, going to therapy, hitting the gym consistently, sleeping properly, and just generally taking care of myself for the first time in a while. And slowly people started noticing the difference. My friends kept telling me I looked happier and healthier. I felt more confident, more social, and more comfortable in my own skin than I had in years. Now, for context, I'm a massive nerd. I play D&D weekly. I've lost embarrassing amounts of time to Stellaris, and one of my favorite hobbies is cosplay. But up until recently, most of my cosplays were characters that were super covered up. Masks, cloaks, oversized outfits, stuff where you barely saw my face or body. Characters like Hornet from Hollow Knight or Mono from Little Nightmares. This year, though, I wanted to do something different. One of my friends convinced me to cosplay Viper from Valorant for the biggest convention in our city, while they went as Chamber. And this wasn't some lazy Amazon costume situation. For 6 months, we worked on these cosplays nonstop. Sewing, painting props, fixing armor pieces, testing makeup, adjusting details. We poured an insane amount of time and money into this. 3 weeks before the con, I sent a photo of my finished cosplay into our group chat asking for feedback on the final details. Almost immediately, my ex privately messaged me. He asked me not to wear the cosplay to the convention because it might make his new girlfriend uncomfortable. At first, I genuinely thought he was joking. I asked him what exactly about the cosplay was the issue, but he refused to explain. He just kept saying it would make her uncomfortable. Now, I already knew he was dating someone new, but I didn't even know she was coming to the convention with us. I tried explaining to him that this cosplay represented months of work, and I wasn't going to throw all of that away because of the feelings of someone I had literally never met. That conversation ended awkwardly, but I figured that would be the end of it. Spoiler alert, it was absolutely not the end of it. The day of the convention comes. And honestly, the cosplay was a massive success. People constantly stopped me for photos, complimented the costume, asked how long it took to make, all of it. It was genuinely one of the first times in years that I felt fully confident and proud of myself. And because I knew things might be awkward, I intentionally tried to keep some distance from the main friend group since my ex and his girlfriend were with them. But conventions are chaotic, so throughout the day, we still crossed paths constantly and ended up spending chunks of time together anyway. And the entire day, this girl kept making little comments at me. So every time someone asked me for a photo, she'd laugh or whisper something under her breath. She'd make sarcastic remarks about attention seekers or comment on how desperate some cosplays looked. Nobody directly confronted her, but you could feel how uncomfortable everyone was getting. I kept trying to ignore it because I didn't want drama. I just wanted to enjoy the convention. But then dinner happened. After the con, a bunch of us went out to eat together. And at one point, another friend casually asked the new girlfriend if she'd ever try cosplay herself. And without missing a beat, she says, "Why would I need attention from random guys? I already have a boyfriend. I'm not a slut." And the second she said that, everybody at the table went silent. Because let's be real, that comment was absolutely aimed at me. After an entire day of passive-aggressive comments, I finally snapped. I told her to stop acting like a pick-me bitch just because I'd gotten attention all day. The second I said it, she burst into tears. My ex immediately jumped in, demanding I apologize to her. And honestly, that made me even angrier. Because apparently she could spend all day insulting me indirectly. But the second I fired back, suddenly I was the villain. So I told him I'd apologize when she apologized for the way she'd been acting toward me all day. That's when everything completely exploded. People started yelling, taking sides, trying to mediate, talking over each other. The entire restaurant turned into chaos. Eventually, the staff got fed up and kicked all of us out. Now it's been 5 days since all of this happened. And my ex is threatening to leave the friend group entirely unless I apologize to his girlfriend. The thing is, I honestly don't care if he leaves. But now some of our mutual friends are begging me to apologize anyway just to keep the peace. And I genuinely don't know what to do anymore because, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have called her a pick-me bitch in public. But after an entire day of insults, judgment, and passive-aggressive behavior, I also feel like I finally just reacted like a human being. So now I'm wondering, am I actually the asshole here? Okay. There is so much happening in this story, and honestly, this feels less like one fight at a convention and more like the world's messiest insecurity triangle. First of all, let's talk about the ex-boyfriend, because, sir, why are you asking your ex-girlfriend not to wear a cosplay she spent 6 months making? Because your new girlfriend might feel uncomfortable? That is already a crazy request. Like, let's call this what it really was. He knew his new girlfriend was insecure. He knew OP looked good in the cosplay. And instead of managing his relationship, he tried to manage his ex. That's weak behavior. And honestly, I think the biggest clue here is that he refused to elaborate when she asked why the cosplay would make the girlfriend uncomfortable. Because there really wasn't a good answer. The answer was basically, my new girlfriend is intimidated by you. That's it. Now let's talk about the new girlfriend because, whew, I actually think she walked into this convention already feeling threatened. Imagine dating a guy whose ex is still in the same friend group, suddenly seeing that ex glowing up after the breakup, feeling more confident, getting attention all day, wearing a cosplay she clearly put tons of effort into. That would absolutely trigger insecurity in some people. But feeling insecure is one thing, spending the entire day making snide comments is another. And the, I already have a boyfriend, I'm not a slut comment? Girl, come on. That wasn't subtle, that was a direct shot. You cannot spend an entire day throwing passive-aggressive shade at somebody and then act shocked when they finally snap back. Now, was pick me bitch the most mature possible response? No. But honestly, after hours of weird comments and judgment, most people would have cracked eventually. Also, can we acknowledge the fact that everybody else at the table apparently sat there in uncomfortable silence the entire day while this girl kept escalating? Because friend groups do this constantly. Nobody wants to confront tension early, so they let one person keep pushing and pushing until someone finally explodes. And then suddenly everyone cares about keeping the peace. And honestly, the ex threatening to leave the friend group unless OP apologizes feels manipulative, because now the social pressure gets dumped entirely onto OP. Nobody's asking, hey, maybe your girlfriend should apologize too. Instead it becomes, can you apologize so everything goes back to normal? Classic group dynamic. But the saddest part of this whole story is honestly how much it screams unresolved feelings and comparison issues. The ex probably feels weird seeing his ex glow up after the breakup. The new girlfriend clearly feels threatened by OP's confidence and attention. And OP herself spent months rebuilding confidence after feeling insecure. So the convention basically became the emotional Hunger Games. Personally, I think everybody owes everybody some level of apology here. OP probably shouldn't have insulted her publicly. But the girlfriend absolutely owes an apology for the non-stop passive-aggressive behavior. And the ex owes both women an apology for handling this situation terribly from the start. Because this whole disaster could have been avoided if people communicated like adults instead of turning Comic-Con into an emotional battlefield. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Oh the Tea with your girl Tia. New tea drops every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And listen, I need your opinions, so go comment below because I need to hear your thoughts. See you next time with more hot tea.